Here's a small analysis of a ski tip that I've been working on. And I'm sort of early in the design process here, and I'm trying to develop a concept where this ski tip is flexible in a certain amount, but not too flexible. And I've got this idea that I'll use a lattice in order to remove some of the material, but also use the lattice to control the stiffness. And this is a perfect example of where Creo Simulation Live can come in and help us provide design guidance and feedback for this. And it's perfect for this because it exists right inside the design environment that I'm using to create this model. So I just move over to the Simulation Live tab and start my analysis. What I'm going to do is set up a simple test case where I put some force up under the ski tip, and as soon as I've done that, I've actually can start the analysis and get instant feedback about the deformation of, say, 1.9 or some kind of deformation that I'm going up in there. So let's have a look at an animation of the displacement. Yeah, that looks reasonable. First thing you always want to do is make sure that the results look reasonable, because you can use a lot of your engineering intuition and design intuition to make sure that you haven't put loads in the wrong direction or constrained it in an unexpected way. We then might want to look at the stresses, and these stresses are pretty low at this moment. So we can probably start pulling some material out or doing something else to meet our design goals. And the good thing is that because we are already in the design environment, I can start to play with things such as the cell lattice thickness. Maybe I'll make that a little bit thinner now, and you'll see that after the regeneration occurs for that lattice, we attach it in. The results will already be updated for me. So now I can see here, we've increased the stresses a little bit, but not too much. But we might want to look at the displacements again. The displacements now, it's gone 2.6 millimeters. So we've made it, like some percentage, 30-40% less stiff. But as a designer, now we can play these games about, well, what can we change? What if we change that? Why don't we change something else? In fact, I've just had this idea that if I fill in some of these holes, I can make this a little bit stiffer in here, but without affecting what's going on down in some of the other areas of the model. So I'm going to resume, actually I'll just go back to this part of the model here, and I'm going to resume a bunch of features that I had created previously. And you'll see here that I've actually created a way of filling in the holes. So we've got our deformation back to 1.8 now. Maybe I want to get it a little bit closer to 2. So I'm going to kind of interactively drag this feature up a little bit, not fill in so many holes, regenerate it, and let the model, it's getting pretty close there. Maybe I took too many of those fill-ins away. But I think you can get the point where Creo Simulation Live is really just part of your design environment. It allows you to keep thinking as a designer would think. What if I change that? Is this geometry what I want to see? All of these parts of the thought process are permanently there, and you don't have to think about meshes or convergence or algorithms or different types of elements or all of those different things, which only take away from your the mind space or the amount of bandwidth you've got in your mind to think about analysis tasks. But of course, the analysis is always running, and you can come back at any time to evaluate what the stresses are at this point. Maybe we want to play with the legend a little bit interactively to make it sort of more obvious about where those high stress points are. The Creo Simulation Live environment is extremely interactive, very, very easy to use, extremely easy to learn. As you see from the menus are very, very obvious. If you can use Creo, you can use Creo Simulation Live.